This is Karen with NewClevelandRadio.net, and it is time for The Rant with Barbara Rose Brooker. And today it's just Barbara and myself, and we're going to talk about something that's coming up here in 2021, and it's called the Virtual Age March, Age Magnificently. So, Barbara, I'm excited for you because oh, here comes Victor. We'll get him in a second. But you started this Age March 10 years ago, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And,
There he is.
and we have Victor with us today.
Oh,
Hi,
Yes.
Victor.
hello.
Hi, Victor.
My deepest apologies.
No apologies needed. We're
No,
here,
needed.
to talk to you and talk about Age March and all the wonderful things happening. Okay.
Yes, my deepest apologies. I'm on my phone. Wi-Fi is not the greatest, so I tried my computer.
I
All
thought
bad, so I'm sorry.
We'll do fine. Not a problem.
appreciate it. It's an honor to have you. It's an honor to have you. And this is Karen, my host. And this
Hello, Karen.
Hi.
is Barbara, alias Susie's mom. And I'm just so honored to have you. So thank you. And
No, thank you. Thank you.
Barbara, tell us how you came to invite Victor to be on this show today.
well, to be very honest, my very fabulous daughter, Susie Unger, said to me, Mom, you want someone fabulous on your show? You have to have Victor Gabriel.
Hey,
Yeah, she did. She really did. And she said, I'll
Yeah.
ask. It's okay. And so did I interrupt you, Karen? Do you want to go ahead?
no, I wanted you to tell me why. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll tell the audience today that we're very honored to have Victor Gabriel on the show. Victor is, I'm not reading, so, but I want to put this up to be sure I don't miss anything, because our guest today, Victor, he is a story from, I would say, from trauma to triumph.
Mhm.
And in our racist culture of America, where African American men and women are murdered and police are never held accountable,
Mhm.
Victor has gone from extreme violence, poverty. He has an MA in film from the FIT Film Institute, and also a master's in clinical psychology. Am I correct, Victor? Correct me if I'm wrong on anything.
What?
Go ahead, Victor.
100%. 100%. A MA in clinical psychology, and MA in filmmaking from AFI Conservatory. Yeah.
Sorry, yes, AFI, of course. I mean, that alone is a lifetime and a journey. But to get from where you were, hungry, poverty,
Yeah.
and then, let me tell you something else. Victor's film, Black Boys Can't Cry. I watched it last night and I cried.
Oh, thank you.
Anyone who watches
Oh,
it
thank you.
will cry. It's a work, I hate to say it, it's a work of art, but good art
Thank you.
shows truth. And without
Thank
the
you.
usual dialogue and the whistles and bells and that we're so used to as racist Americans, this really reveals the truth. I call it the blind spot of America, because good Christians and good Americans, they brag about it, but they're not, because they are allowing racism at its worst to exist in America. Today's a good day, though. We're making President Trump accountable as much as we can. So I'm not going to take up time on my rant about racist America and white privilege,
Yeah.
because I am a white
Right.
woman used to white privilege, and I feel very strongly about your journey and the journey of so many other young African Americans. I want to know, Victor, first of all, how did this, how did you get from A to film school? And through your films, you're telling your truths, you're confronting your
Yeah,
truth, which must be very painful, as the film shows. How are
for
you
sure.
how did you do it, and how are you doing it now? How are you helping other African American boys who are living like you lived to go on a journey of telling their truths?
Yeah. Um, First of all, can you guys hear me? I want to make sure you guys can hear me.
We can
Everything's
hear you
good?
loud and clear.
You look fine
Cool,
and
good, good.
hear you fine.
Great, great, great. That's great. First of all, let me say I super appreciate just being able to be here. Like it, I don't. It's not like I don't count it to be just a small thing to be able, like, just to talk and to be with people. Like human connection to me is deep and it's important and powerful for all of us. You feel me? So I'm super just honored to even just share and to talk and to be with you today. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. Um, I think I think if I heard you correctly, Barbara, you tell me, I think you said, how did I get from one point to where I'm at right now? And also, what am I doing to help just other Black men? I think that's what the two questions you asked. Well, for one, I facilitate a Black male and trauma group like every other week. So that's online right now.
Ooh,
Before COVID, it was in person. And so that's, for me, that's probably one of the things which I'm really, I don't know if I'm proud of. I guess I have a sense of pride, but it's more about a sense of purpose and a sense of urgency. I have a sense of urgency just about um, people and my community and Black men just trying to figure out what's going on with us. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm really big about that, really big about attempting to unearth the things that we don't want to talk about. And to your point about Black boys can't cry,
I'm
go ahead,
sorry.
Barbara.
I wonder, are they finding you? Are they finding you, these young African American boys?
Oh, well, let me move a little bit, So like I said, I don't really have reception. Um, well, right now the group I have is mostly 18 and up.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to figure out about doing a teen group, but right now I'm just doing a more Black male, like adult group. So right now I'm still trying to figure out like a teen group for like boys and girls, but I haven't been able to get that up. But prior work I was doing was with a lot of children as well. Um, and to your point about the short film I did, Black Boys Can't Cry, which for the audience it was just a short film about Black man, Black family. A Black man has a Black family. He's married, um, wife and kids, a wife and daughter, and he's experiencing a heavy traumatic reaction at night, like having nightmares. And he ends up like attacking his family, so to speak, in a nightmare spell. And we sort of realized as we watched the film, like his past through flashbacks, the things that were happening to him, that it was coming up, and he's been having a big reaction to it. And so that's in relation to even the group I do, which is Black men coming together, talking about so I experienced this. This was the situation I saw when I was a kid. So and for my group, it's a lot of violence. It's a lot of like so I wanted to commit suicide. I saw this person get shot. Such and such person died. Um, and also just what it is like for the professional men. Some of it's like, what does it feel like working as a Black man in a job, and usually all white setting? Like, how was that? How was that? So it's like a combination of us attempting to figure out just how to be men You know what I'm saying? How to be men in America. And that's difficult because Black men are not really respected, not really seen. So that's sort of what my thing has been with my group and also that short film I did. My personal story relates, like Barbara said, my personal story relates a lot to being impoverished, you know? Like I, I was in the streets in LA with my mother, and by streets I mean like living on the streets, like living in a car, not having food. I was like stealing from stores just to get food and clothes. You feel me? And moved around a lot, and I think a lot of abuse in my family, a lot of violence. And as I processed through that, a lot of things I felt was like a lot of self-hatred. I dealt a lot of self-hatred. Dealt a lot of hatred about how I looked, what I was going through. Didn't really have a lot of people to talk to about it. And I'm jumping ahead now over years of like trauma and frustration, attempting to process how to deal with it for the first time in my life. You know, not now, but like maybe a couple years ago before I became a therapist. And after I started processing it, I went to go see a therapist who was my may he rest in peace. His name was Dr. Polite. He was a Black man, and he passed away like a year or so ago. But he kind of turned into my mentor. So I'm not sure he did the most ethical thing because usually don't do that. But he was like an older Black man, and it sort of like over the years sort of turned into like I would just call him up like, "Hey, Dr. P, like, what's going on, man?" Da da da. We would just be talking. I stopped seeing him for like I saw him for like 6 months, but then I would just call him randomly and talk. I think we go out to dinner one time, and just he kind of turned into a mentor. And you know, that was the first time I sat down with somebody to talk about the shit I was going through. Pardon my language. I apologize. I don't know if I'm supposed to
Do
curse or
not
not.
apologize.
Nope.
Okay, cool, because I curse all the time. So I'll keep it. I'll keep it PG. Uh, um, yeah. So, um, yeah. So talking with him, dealt with a lot of the abuse that I had experienced, some of the poverty. My dad was gone. You know, my dad was a violent person. You know what I'm saying? Beat me up every day, you know? And then he abandoned me and I ain't seen him since I was a kid, you know? And I'm well into my 30s now. So all these things were hard, man. Dealing with the loss of one of my little bros who got murdered, you know what I'm saying? So it's just it's just random things like everyone has, you know what I'm saying, regardless of anything. Trauma. I will say this on a side note. The one thing that is like colorblind and doesn't care is pain and suffering. That's the one thing. That's the most equal, the most equal. Who'd have thought that the one dynamic that's probably the most equitable and just and fair would be like trauma, pain, and suffering. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone experiences like their version of suffering. My version of suffering is definitely related though to being Black, to being a man, and to being not being seen. You know what I'm saying? And going to therapy helped me with that. Helped me to become a therapist. And as I was becoming a therapist, I also had a bug to create. So I was like, I need to do something. And so I was like, well, who said I don't have to be a therapist? I could be multiple things. And here I am doing therapy and filmmaking, and I'm still in the beginning processes of a lot of these things. I'm just beginning my road. So yeah.
Victor, I have a question for you. Okay. We when I say we, I'm talking about those of us who come from more privilege. Okay. We look at you and we say, well, you couldn't have suffered that much because look how great you are today. But obviously you did. I'm not denying that.
Yeah,
But
of
what
course.
was it during that suffering that made you strong enough to say, you know what? I'm going to go for counseling. I'm going to continue my education. I I have I have passions because
Yeah.
you drive down the street and you wonder, you know, why can Victor do it, but why can't the guy next to Victor do it? So,
Right. So yeah, I have a great answer to that. And this is actually related to Barbara, like, because Barbara's daughter, Susie, who I have a great relationship with, like, it's to be fair, it's the one thing that is like, I don't think it's not really a westernized idea. It's community. You know what I'm saying? It's the communal collectivist like philosophy. For me, it's been multiple people hopping in my life and taking care of me. I have an adopted family, not technical adopted, but adopted family took me in. That's how I came to Compton. I'm in Compton. I have grandmama Darby, I have Mama Debbie. I got
I read that.
there's more people. Susie and her husband gave me a computer to go to film school because I didn't have no computer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just like some little old rinky dink thing, but it was beautiful. I don't care. You feel me? I didn't have shit. So I was like, I'll take whatever, I'll take anything right now. You feel me? So it has to be people walking alongside you. I don't believe we get to this life by ourselves. I just don't believe that. I don't think you pick yourself up by your own bootstraps. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I believe that we are here through the efforts of our community. You know what I'm saying? To the efforts of my family, the prayers of the people who love me, and just the people who love me. They don't believe in God, but they just, Vic, I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? And then I have to do the same. You feel me? I have to do the same. I got to do the same for the other little boy, little girls, or the people who hurting. I just have to be with them. I mean, and if we have more of that, things are just easier. You know what I'm saying? Things are easier for everybody, and we can. That's my charge, though. My purpose is to help people heal. My purpose is to help people heal. So my purpose is to help people heal and to help ease their suffering. And so, if more people are down to do that, then it makes it easier. I know that's not a great question because people are like, so what can I do in and of myself to be better? I mean, you can do little things. I mean, you can go see a therapist, you know what I'm saying? You can go do things like that, like go see a therapist, you know. I like, you know, try to figure out the things you want to do in your purpose. That's great. But I just am a big believer that on some level that our forward movement is dependent on our community and the people next to us. I don't think there's any person who gets to thriving or triumph without aid. I don't know that person. It sounds good on TV and in the movie, but I don't think that's how it works.
I think you're being very humble, and I agree with what you said, but I do think that there's something inside of you that determined and wanted to do it, or the community wouldn't have been there. I agree with everything.
Sure.
I'm in awe of what you've accomplished and what you're going to accomplish. And I want to ask you, Black boys can't cry. Even the title is so true. It's so true.
Yeah.
This year, I sat and watched George Floyd murdered on television like everybody else did, while the white cop smirked and kept his hand in his pocket, while George Floyd said, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, and called for his mother. And no one's made accountable. So you're existing, I would say, African-American people, no matter how many credentials they achieve, and are great ones, down to Obama, who's my hero. I love Obama. But look what he had to put up with from a white, privileged, racist man with the birther. You know, what said about him. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is through your films now and your achievements, you're not only confronting yourself, but you're helping others see what is true, and so many others are experiencing. So what are you going to do with Black boys can't cry? Because they can't cry. They're not supposed to cry. They think they're supposed to have this torment. And what other films are you going to make?
Well, currently I'm actually prepping for a short film I'm about to shoot in February. Coronavirus notwithstanding, let's hopefully when we're on go to shoot in February, like near the end of February, Obviously, if something happens and they shut productions down completely, then I can't do that. But so I'm moving ahead with that. And it's the same sort of themes, same sort of themes, same sort of themes. Just it's a short film about just dealing with grief. It's in a more comedic way, a little bit, but a little more like dark comedy. But it's dealing with grief and dealing with just again grief, violence, losing people. But it's also family. It's about dealing with family. So that's what I'm doing right now with the films. In terms of Black Boy Can't Cry, the short, I have hopes to do like a feature about it like, in later years,
Yes.
And so that's creatively what's going on with me is like doing those shorts. I'm writing scripts right now, what I'm saying, working with like my manager and agent about like trying to get some stuff out there. So creative, that's what's happening. Creative, that's what's happening. In terms and
I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
Speaking of Black Boys Can't Cry, I was thinking last night, it hits you. It's so powerful. I thought, oh my God, this is the opening to a major feature or series.
Yeah. I've been thinking about it. I don't know. It's still just in my head right now. I'm gonna set it down, the concept for a while until I come back to it, right? Because I gotta let it germinate, so I can process like how I want it to be, how I want it to look. And even to your point about I could have said Black boys shouldn't cry, or Black boys don't cry. I specifically said can't, and like to insinuate there's like an inability. You know what I'm saying? Like there's an inability, like there is something that's been taken from us, so we can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Not that they don't, because don't says you can do it. You can do it, you just choose not to. I mean, semantics, it's semantics, but I mean, sort of powerful semantic for me. I think that's not,
perfect title. I mean, George Floyd cried, and look what he got. He was murdered.
Yeah, 100%. George Floyd. Yeah, man. It's
and so many others I'm not mentioning daily, and I send my prayers to their families and their
for sure.
And
how can people find this film so that they can watch it?
Well, it's difficult right now because we're sort of like we're sort of ending our festival run, so it should be out soon. We probably should put it out maybe soon because it's really short. It's like 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes. So it's really short, no dialogue. It's not like a typical short film. It's like 10, 12 minutes. It's like 5 minutes. It's like
it's 5 hours of emotion. And I actually saw it on YouTube. I just Googled you and I put the film in and I saw it. And I wanted to see it before I met you, and Susie had told me about it. And I thought, this is hours and hours of emotion. It's exquisitely done.
Something I hear you saying, Victor, and it's a message that Barbara and I have been talking about since I met her. And it started out with Age March, and Age March has just grown to the fact that it's about life marching and being open and walking down the street and not being afraid of somebody because of the color of their skin, the clothes that they're wearing,
how old they are.
We need, or how old they are. We need to at least start every day with a smile to each other. Okay? Because that smile is going to mean a lot to each other. And eventually we can start to talk. And there are other people like Susie and her wonderful husband, Hank, who, or Henry, I'm sorry, who gave you this wonderful computer. Okay? Somebody else, they may have looked at it as a piece of junk, but you didn't because of the heart that you have. And so that's how your heart's all meshed. What do you think Barbara and I and our listeners can do to make life different so we're not so privileged?
You asking the heavy questions. You asking the heavy hitters. You feel me? You asking the heavy hitters.
Because
Man, that's
I don't
is-
I think white privilege, unfortunately, is internalized. It's systemic, and I would like to address that for a second. I mean, Karen and I, we used to say the cliche that white people say, I don't see color, you know, all those cliches. Of course we do. It's systemic. And I think I've learned so much from my African American colleagues and friends, as you have, Karen. And I think what we can do is to admit who we are, admit that we don't know about this, we don't know about that. You know, we need to admit it. I mean, that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm off. You see, people aren't admitting
I
that
like that. I
Trump
like that.
is a racist. Of course, I don't care that he has a Jewish son-in-law. I'm a Jew. I don't care that he has a Jewish. So Hitler had Jewish relatives. You know, he's still a racist. And there's a lot of people out there who are saying, I'm a good American. I'm a good Christian. I'm not racist. They're too white for words, is what I say. You know, or my best friend is African American, or, you know, I mean, come on. It's a systemic, horrible, horrible blind spot in our culture. So addressing Karen's question to you is, I guess, what do you think white people can do? We're still the slave owners, you know?
Yeah, I don't, man, I think my thoughts are multiple. So I'm trying to distill something. I like what you said, Barbara, about listen. And this is funny because I think this is even in white people, even a right wing, like more white America, so to speak, I would say. This philosophy is in their this is one of their tenets, which is accountability. Like they preach accountability, right? And so my thing is, I agree with you. I think people need to take both systemic, corporate, and individual accountability for themselves. Everybody, right? Everyone got to do that. So for me, it's not. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to have like a large, like, oh, I feel this, I feel that. Just take accountability. Like this is what happened. We got to account for that.
Yay, that's it.
Like we got like that's it. That's for me. It's simple. Like I don't need tears. I don't need tears. I don't need town halls. Like y'all fucked up. That's cool. Like admit it. We did this. We have to account for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's everybody. And that's everybody. Everybody has to take account. Everybody has to take account for the actions that have been taken. You know what I'm saying? Me included. You know what I'm saying? Me included. All of us maintain some sense of privilege in some area. We have to take account. We have to be able to be honest with ourselves about how we've treated people. You know what I'm saying? And because I don't think the privilege just disappears. The privilege doesn't disappear outside of like maybe class, because that's more mobile, but the privilege doesn't disappear. And I don't see the need to like be in shambles over it. You know what I'm saying? But use your resources. Just use your resources to be present for the people. It's powerful. Yeah, it's powerful. It's a powerful thing to be given by God certain things. And so you got to be like, oh yeah, I have these things to be a benefit for justice and for people around me. That's why I go back to community. That's why I go back to the community. Like if I'm in a community and I know my little brother, and I mean by blood, just a little brother, is hurting because he lacks books, I'm educated. I'm one of the top 10% who got top 10% of the world, I'm sure, who has postgraduate degrees. Like it's up to me. That's my responsibility. You feel me? Like, that's my responsibility. I'm the one who's educated. I gotta go do something about that. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go do something about that. It doesn't benefit me to be like, oh, I'm so educated. I don't know what to do. My privilege is wearing me down. Like I gotta go do something about that. The privilege is there. Take account. I'm gonna go figure out what to do about the poor children who need books, or who need someone to step in for them. You know what I'm saying? I'm older now. I have psychological resources. I'm a therapist. I can do something for the kids who don't know how to manage their emotions. I gotta go do something about that. You
I
feel
love,
me? Like
I love
that. And so for me, it's better to make it simple because I can't convince no white person of nothing. I'm not trying to convince white people nothing. You do what you do. At least take accountability and let's figure out how. Like, okay, I got this shit. What am I gonna do with it? You know what I'm saying? What am I gonna do with it? And we all got to do that. So
I love what you're saying. You said the one word, and I think, don't you agree, Karen?
Yes.
Accountability. To admit. And that's a whole nother, we could do programs on that. I love John Lewis. I love what John Lewis said. Make good trouble. We need also as white people to make good trouble and not just sit back and write a check to a nonprofit, which is great too, but to make good trouble, to make accountability, to talk about it, to get it out there so the next generation won't even know what we're talking about. Dr. King said, and I recently listened to his I Have a Dream speech, which is on YouTube too. And when you hear it, my skin prickles up. And that's, he said, no one should be defined. Their character should not be defined by the color of their skin. And I'm not comparing my age march, but that's why I'm doing an age march movement is no one should be defined by their age, whether they're 20 or 101. Segregation must stop in our anti-Black, our anti-Jew, our anti-age culture. America is just a bunch of cubbies of antis in the name of God. In the name of God. We say, will the real Jesus stand up, please? Because I think that he's probably transgender. He might be fluid, I'm not sure. He might be gay, he might be he might be many things, many things. I'm probably going to get hate mail. I'm sorry, Karen. They're going to say, get rid of that woman who said
You know
that.
what? I think what you're saying is what Victor is saying is that we have to be accountable for what we say, what we do, what we think, but we
Yes,
also have to listen to each other. And
that's what it is.
and
Yes.
listening to you today, Victor, um, I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged to know that it's about what's deep inside of us. And there are many young Black men growing up today that don't know how to find what's deep inside of them. But it's going to take people like you, Barbara, myself, and everybody else walking down the street not to define them, allow them to define themselves. And I think we're going to see a lot of great young men growing up in this world.
I hope so. And your films, I think through your films that's very important. I believe life comes from art, and art documents life after we're gone. And the films are very important. And I say bravo to you. Congratulations to you. I'm sorry I talked so much, but I got very excited. So I'm sorry I broke in with these rants. I'm trying to learn to keep quiet and listen, but I couldn't help myself.
It's all good.
Victor, how can people find you if they want to follow you and follow your journey?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Where Kings Reign, how it's spelled, Where Kings Reign. Yeah, exactly how it's spelled.
Okay.
On Instagram, and that's probably the best place to find me because you'll see updates about film stuff. You'll see updates about the groups I'm doing. Yeah, so just follow me there. That's fine.
I'm gonna put you on my website. Is it all right?
Huh?
I'm gonna put you on my website.
100%. 100%. That's perfectly fair. I appreciate it. Yeah.
My agemarch.org website. I'm going to put your picture and your bio and talk about it. And at the same time, that would be wonderful for the website. So I'm going to do that. Thank you. I think you're wonderful. And
Thank you so much.
I can't wait to see your next film. And I wish you all safety and blessings and creativity, lots more creativity. And I hope to see you again.
Yes. Hope likewise. We will see each other again.
Yes.
Sounds wonderful. Everybody stay safe, wear your mask and social distance, and soon we will all be well.
Yes.
Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.